Foundation, I welcome you all to this talk for Intact by Mrs. Visalakshi Ramaswamy on her journey in craft revival with special focus on the Chettinad palm leaf basket, the Kottan. I invite Mr. Sujata Shankar, convener Intact Chennai chapter, to welcome the gathering and introduce our speaker.
Good evening, friends and members of Intact. We're indeed grateful that Mrs. Visalakshi Ramaswamy, whose contribution has been monumental in the field of craft revival, has agreed to give a talk to us this evening, and doubly happy that she is a life member of Intact, and also we're very thankful that you're hosting it here. Thank you so much. Many of you regularly attend our programs and are quite familiar with Intact. I see many members here today and glad about it. But for the benefit of some who may not be familiar, I'll just introduce Intact briefly. Intact is an acronym for the Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, established in 1984 as a not-for-profit organization. Delighted to share that Intact has just completed 41 years since the founding of the organization. Intact's mission to conserve heritage is based on the belief that living in harmony with heritage enhances the quality of life. Would you like to have a seat? Yeah, please. Yeah. Yeah, please have a seat. Yeah. It is stated in the Constitution of India, Article 51AF, that it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. The key word here is composite and reflects the rich and diverse heritage that we have in India. Intact endeavors to achieve this vision by sensitizing the public and creating awareness about the pluralistic legacy of India, protecting and preserving India's built heritage, natural heritage, living heritage, both tangible and intangible heritage, documenting unprotected heritage, developing heritage policies, providing expertise in the field of conservation, encouraging capacity building through skills training programs, undertaking emergency response measures during man-made disasters or natural calamities like earthquakes, etc. And importantly, forming heritage clubs in schools, and through these heritage education programs, inculcating in children a sense of pride and concern for our heritage. We have in the country over 200 chapters formed only by volunteers, and it is through the passion and strength of volunteers across our chapters that Intact takes its vision forward. At Chennai chapter, we have through talks, programs and initiatives been creating awareness about the significance of our heritage. I invite you to join hands with us at Intact Chennai chapter to save and protect our heritage. We are here to answer your queries, and there's a desk just outside where also we have our publications, which if you'd like to see and order or purchase. We focus today on the preservation on an important aspect of our cultural heritage, which is crucial for safeguarding our rich history and cultural identity. It lies both in the craft as well as in the intangible skill of the craftsmen and women of the community who work to keep the craft alive. And Mrs. Visalakshi's role in making this happen cannot be overemphasized. She is very well known and, as the cliche goes, really requires no introduction. However, may I have the pleasure of presenting a short outline of her achievements. Mrs. Visalakshi Ramaswamy has been a champion for research, documentation and revival of traditional crafts and cultural heritage for over a quarter of a century. Realizing the urgent need to preserve her region's cultural heritage, she established the MRM Cultural Foundation in the year 2000. Earlier, in the 1990s, she embarked upon documenting the lifestyle, crafts, textiles and rituals of the Chettiars, culminating in the book, The Chettiar Heritage. Through the foundation, Kottan, the traditional Chettinad palm leaf basket, has been revived and has since received the UNESCO Seal of Excellence 7 times. Her work with the Kottan craft culminated in the book, The Kottan, the Palmyra Basket of Chettinad. She is also the co-author of the Chettinad Cookbook. A passionate textile revivalist, she has worked with weavers in Karaikudi, Kanchipuram and Chennai to reproduce traditional handloom saris and is all set to release a book on the Kandangi saris and their history. She also sustained the Athangudi tile craft by providing technical design and marketing support. She has conducted workshops on Chettinad building crafts like egg plaster and lime stucco. Her family home, MRM House in Kannada is in the process of being converted into a museum. In 2023, she designed and curated Chettinad, an enduring legacy at the IIC, India International Centre, New Delhi. Recognized for her impact, Mrs. Ramaswamy has received the IBCN Award in 2015, the Fiki Flo Women Achievers Award in 2016, the Hindu World of Women Award in 2018, and both the Devi Award and the Tata Taneras Catalyst in Arts Award in 2024. In 2023, she was a panelist at the Global Investor Meet Tamil Nadu on the topic Harnessing the Potential of Creative Economy. Mrs. Ramaswamy has worked as an executive committee member of the Crafts Council of India and actively collaborated with the World Crafts Council. In 2026, she will be taking up the role of the chairperson of the Crafts Council of India. We're indeed honored that she will speak to us about her 25-year journey and her work in research, documentation and revival of the crafts of the Chettinad region. Thank you.
So good evening everybody. I'm very happy to see all of you here today. We actually work very quietly, but this is the 25th year of the MRM Cultural Foundation. So we decided that this year we will speak a little more so that more people get to know about the work we do. So I started the foundation 25 years ago. I was actually working on the book, The Chettiar Heritage. Mr. S. Muthaiya, Meenakshi Mayappan and I did that book together. It just came about at a conversation together and we suddenly started doing it. It took us 4 years to do the book. During that time, I was traveling through Chettinad with a photographer to document all the whatever was there. And it took 4 years, but I realized that every year something was lost. In the 4th year, what I saw in the 1st year was not there. So I realized that unless we saved it, everything is going to go. So before saving, we needed knowledge. We needed information. I started talking to people to gather information and realized that since we do not have written documentation in India, it's only word of mouth, almost all the information is also disappearing. So then I started the foundation and decided that what we needed to do first was to document. So to do that, we had to do, our motto is to research, to document, and then to revive everything. I didn't know where to start. So what I did, the first project I did, it was of course a Kotan project. It's 25, we are 25 years old this year. And that is complete, I'll say. You know, like everything I wanted to do with the Kotan has been done. But there are several other, as you can see, all these are our projects on the other side. So we've revived all these crafts. Are they all come back? I can't say. Some, there are no people to do it. Getting crafts people is becoming the biggest problem now. Everyone is going away from it. Mostly because lot of subsidies and they're getting everything free literally. So the need to work has gone. So that is there, but I find that those who are interested are there. The lime plaster, for example, there's such a big demand. We have one master craftsman who's willing to train people, but getting people to work with him itself is a big problem, but he's still working. As long as he is there, we are all right. I do not know what's going to. We have trained some people. I hope they will continue. So no, I cannot see my pictures properly. So all the, whatever we have revived, I will first talk about. One is the Kotan, of course, which is our most successful story. Then the Athangudi tiles. I can't say I revived the Athangudi tiles, but we brought it back to life. It was still there, but slowly dying. And then when I met with this two brothers, Nataraj and Ramu, and so I started working with them. So now I find they've come back fully into fashion, and 25 units or even 30 are working in Athangudi, all fully doing very well, all of them. So what did I do to help them? We have done design intervention. We have introduced them to new markets and taught them how to do their accounting, which was the biggest problem for them because they were confused. They'll give a price and then they will land in Calcutta and realize they actually have spent more than in Bangalore. And then people will think they are cheating them. So then we have now taught them how to separate the travel from the actual cost and give both the actual cost. They are doing well now. And the stencil painting, wall painting. Okay, that is another. We had one. Normally every house had its own painter. The houses in Chettinad have a lot of painting on them. So we had our own painters and the son, the father, it was a continuous thing. They had all these, what do you call them? The stencils. They kept all the stencils. They knew where it was. In fact, in our house, I didn't know, only that painter Krishnan used to know where he kept it. He'll bring it and paint. Then he died. Then there's nobody to do it after that. Now, luckily, his grandson has come back. So we have taken about 4 or 5 boys and trained them to do it. But they are there, but sometimes they've gone to Singapore, but then when they are there, they are doing it, it's going on. But at least it's alive and breathing, so I'm happy to say that is something. Then now what is the next thing? We have the lime plaster I told you. So what we have done is, what I did, we got the stencil painted on 4 feet lengths of plywood, which can be screwed on to the wall or removed. Because when young people live in flats and they are moving, so once you paint something on the wall, you can't remove it. And I realized that nobody wants to spend that kind of money on something which they can't take with them. So that has been done, and we have done a couple of projects. But again, as I said, there may even be a demand for the craft, but getting the craftsmen to be consistent is very difficult. So that is one more problem we have. And this is a documentation of my house in Chettinad by Benny Kuriakos and his team of architects. These are measured drawings, and they have done a complete documentation which is also waiting publication. We have lot of things waiting to be published. And then I had put up this lifestyle museum in my house for about 20 years ago. We've had lots and lots of visitors. It was Mr. M.B. Subbiah who asked me to put it up for his guests the first time. It was done in 10 days, but somehow it survived 20 years. But now I'm seriously thinking of making it into a proper museum so that not only the exhibition, the knowledge and then the library and everything will be there. So because everyone who's doing research on Chettinad or anything to do with Chettinad keep coming to me. So I thought if there is a place where they can go to like a 1-point information center, so that will be the good thing. Then of course we come to our Kottan. I can't hear you. Saris I forgot, okay. The saris I've been doing even before I started the book for a long, long time. I think our first exhibition was at Aiva. So that's done well. Yeah, you have one. They have done, it's done well, then it will do well forever. But again, the problem is the weaver. It's not that I don't want to produce it. Every time we get saris, before we can blink, they are sold. But we are not able to continuously keep making because we want to keep it completely authentic and handloom and everything, pure silk, pure cotton, whatever. But they want to mix everything or they want to use mechanical devices. So it is a bit difficult, but at the moment I've just found another weaver. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to work now. This is a Kandangi book that I've finished. It's almost just ready to be printed now. It's a documentation of over 100 and odd saris. That is, every sari has been documented. They're all old saris. We have collected them from various people plus my own collection. And if you have this book, it's like a design directory. So that is what we are trying to do.
These are all places, is it? Kandangi, Athangudi?
No, Kandangi is the name of a sari. Athangudi is the name of a place. And the Kottan is a special name which you only hear in Chettinad. So this is the first documentation that I did, that this is the Kottan book. It has been selling over the years and I think it's become like a study thing now. These Kottans are made of palm leaf, Panamaram. So the tree itself is like every part of the tree is used. Then at one point what happened was they banned toddy tapping. So that meant nobody would go up a tree. Otherwise when they went up to get the toddy or to build huts, we got some palm leaf and we paid them a couple of rupees for the each palm leaf sheaf. But then it reached a stage, they said that if I go up one self, you have to pay me over 100 rupees. They may or may not get a palm leaf because you can only use the tender palm, you can't use the whole thing. So it was becoming very expensive. Then we had to find a place where we can source the material. So we had to go to Rameshwaram to get our palm leaf. Though plenty of trees are there around us. These are of course the houses. Yeah. So why this baskets are actually a hobby craft of the Chettiar women. So these baskets for the pastries are the women. I've seen them making it around courtyards when I was a child. And they'll all sit and gossip after the work is done. And they used to do it like in a work line, you know, one person will make the base, one will make the sides, one is an expert at making the rim. And usually what was it used for was for all rituals. And if there was one person, one woman had a wedding in her house, all of them would gather together and make the number she required. And when the other women needed, it was like everyone made the basket for them. It was a hobby craft actually. So this is how it was used. If you see there, there is a basket with the beetle leaves and the bark. This was actually, this basket, to me actually, when someone asked me what does the kottan mean to you, the word I could think of was integrity. Because once you made any contract or an agreement, even it could be even an engagement or anything, if you gave that Vetlapaka in that kottan, it was more than a signed document and you never went back on your word. So to me that kottan always reminds me that of the integrity that they had, where we didn't have anything to bind us, but you still kept your word. And this is a grandfather, doing the Nichayadatam for his, whatever, the member of his family for them, for the wedding. The two men taking the, this is, the kottan later became, slowly from palm leaf, it changed to steel, plastic, and then became silver. So this is called a kadahan, and what they are doing there is that in every occasion, like even when you have a wedding and the bride goes to her husband's house, when the girl then has her children and has a wedding in her house, at any point the mother's family has to become, paternal family has to become a part of it. And when they come, they have to bring seer. So it was actually, they used to come in carts, bring them in baskets, and the men of the house would bring it, and the women in the daughter's house would go and help them to bring it inside. And now that has become a ritual. So here there is a man from the daughter's house bringing his Sidanam, and the woman from the daughter-in-law's house, she is receiving it and helping him to take it in. It has now become a ritual and it's called a vevu. We have it for all occasions. When you get married, when you get your daughter married, also your brother or your father has to come and help you with the wedding, because they think that it is the first child's wedding and you are struggling a bit. Then you have, even when we have a custom where after 3 years of marriage, you are automatically separated from your mother-in-law, in-law's house. You are given a separate kitchen and you are meant to run your own household. You are given a certain amount of money and you have to run within that. That is called Vera Vaikiradu, that is separating them. And that is usually done on Thaipusam day. So on that day, the father, when he visits the daughter, he also has to bring everything for her to start a house. That's it. This is the bride taking leave, is it? I can't see the picture properly. What is it? Oh, this is a bride when she's married now, leaving for her husband's house. So she has to take leave of all the elders, men and women in her mother's house. Usually when we say goodbye, even when you're going abroad, we give Vetlapaka to that person. So this girl is now taking that Vetlapaka from her father to go to her husband's house. And this is, okay, this is the basket that you see there. This is the ritual basket that they give at all engagements and weddings. The silver basket has a garland on it, as you can see. We have these different clans, sects. Like we have 6 or 7 divisions. Each of them belong to one temple. Now we have a habit of adopting children. So what we do is when you do only sons, not daughters. So when you adopt a son, you can adopt from the same temple. When you marry your daughter, it's like a gotram. You can't marry within your own. So this garland comes from the temple. The moment your wedding is finalized, you go to the temple and inform them first. And if they send this garland to you on your wedding only, you are acknowledged. Otherwise, it is not really recognized. This is the raw material. This is from the palm tree. And I told you that every part of the palm tree is useful. I mean, there's nothing you waste in it. These are the, the palm leaves. This is a dyed one. But what I'm trying to show you is that we cut them into different sizes to make the basket. The finer it is, the more expensive it becomes. Now, these are the other things that we use for the raw material. That is the threads, and this is the dyed yarn. Dyes, I'm sorry, that's the dyes, and that's the patram in which we make the dye bath. These are all the tools that we use. Basically very simple tools which you have. There's only one thing. There is a sattagam, the first one you can see. What we use for taking out coconut from the shell. That sattagam is the most important thing in the gottan making. Without that you can't insert. Sorry, my voice is so bad. So these are the tools. That sattagam we need to insert the palm leaf as we are making the basket, and then they have to pull. It has lots of problems. It looks simple, but if you have a fan on, you can't make this basket. If you have, if it is wet, like now, if the weather is wet, you can't pull the whole. So we have lot of problems also. And okay, let's go to the next slide. So then, okay, that's the most important thing. What happened earlier was the women were really experts. With just that sattagam, they could split the palm leaf to the exact size they wanted uniformly. But when we started, what happened was the Chettiar women had all started traveling. So the hobby stopped. There was no hobby craft. So when I wanted to restart it again, I realized I had to find fresh people who didn't know anything about it. So I went to a farming village and found the women. I had to beg them to literally start because they've gone through so many programs of training. And they told me that everyone trains us for 15 days, then leaves us high and dry, and then we are wasting our time, we don't want to join you. So I told them, no, I will not do that, so please join. I got only 5 women. Today we have 110 women working with us now for 25 years. But we only got 5 women at that time. So once they joined us, I had to train them. Now I couldn't find anyone who was willing to go and train them. Till one old lady called Kannamayachi, she was from another village called Kolapet. She was very sporting and she said, I don't have transport, if you can take me there every day, I will train them. So every day we sent a car, picked her up, every day she'll go to the village, teach them. We had to drop her back and she was 80 at that time. So I was really nervous that she should go back safely. But she did such a super job, she taught them everything. So when they started splitting, we realized that they didn't have the expertise of the archis who have done it for generations. So they only taught their children and it was never taught to anybody else. It was not a commercial thing at all. So then we had to make this splicer, which now we can size exactly to the size we want and tear evenly, uniformly. So then that is how they started making the baskets. Then the next problem was dyeing. The original cotton was only red and blue. There was no other color. It was a checked cotton and the maximum you can do is 7-inch by 7-inch base and about 7 inches height. It was standard. And they didn't want anything more than that. The only thing else that they did to it was, of course, they did that crochet and the bead work on top of it to make it grander. Otherwise, that was all the requirement and no one tried to make it into anything else. But when I started training these women, I had a problem. I thought when I joined, I thought I'll get them all together, teach them how to do and I'll go away, come back and order whenever I want and they'll make for me. This is what I imagined. But after I got into it, I realized it was not that simple because once I left, the whole thing was falling apart. Now they had 2 problems. One was design and one was marketing. So if you go on making the same baskets, there's only a limited market. So most of the time they will have no work and they were not willing to do that. So then what I thought is that we have to now get new colors, we have to get new designs, I have to do something about it. So I started making sweet boxes and I used that ordinary petticoat dies from Karekudi. And that's how we started. And the first order I got was from Preeta Reddy. She gave me an order for 400 sweet baskets for Apollo. And then we started making, and then I was getting frantic because we could finish on time. One was so big, one was so small. So quality control was very important. So I started getting that into a system. And so then what I said was they will keep sending the baskets. And though I kept insisting on quality, there was no way of making sure that they will do it. So then I said, they put your name on the basket. Each one put your name. It is like a signature. It's your basket. You can be proud. And I know who's made this basket. So if you have not done it well, I will send it back. But now I'm very happy to tell you, we don't do any more quality control. It's 100% quality control just by themselves. They've become so good. And after Preetu's, that first order, I realized that the Kottan as a Kottan itself has no future. So then what do I do next? Then I started thinking of all these new products that we are doing now, tissue boxes, everything to do with a wedding or with anything that is, festivals in India. We have plenty. So I just decided that should be our market. So packaging is what we have started doing. And now over the years, every year we do a design, like a design thing every year, so that I have those pages come now. I always talk without talking. Okay, this I mean without looking. This is the making process. We'll go through it, just show that. And this is the palm leaf. And that is how we splice and all of that. Show the next picture. It's a splicer. Then they dip and then they color, show the rest of it all. This is a dyeing process. So we started using the dyes. So all the colors. So then I started, this is how they start. Actually, the difference between other baskets and the Kottan is that all the other baskets you make the base with your hands. Only for the Kottan you have to sit on the floor, you have to jackknife your knee, hold the palm leaf with your feet and make the base. Only then you will get this straight-sided, straight basket. Otherwise you normally get that round-based basket which is wobbling all the time. And the finishing of the basket is done with thread on the top. As you can see there, I'll look at the slides and talk, which I never do. Okay, this is the making of the basket. This is the different designs. So I have a collection of old Kottans. So again, we have done a documentation of all the old designs, and we have named everything and put them all together in the book. So that in the future, the idea is to save the knowledge for posterity. So these are all this is the regular Kottan, but all the others are. Then these are how, when we changed. Right at the beginning, this is how I changed from the original to some other. So mainly boxes, bags, that's what I was doing. What is this? Okay, this is a very complicated basket. Every time you insert the palm leaf into the base, you have to split it into 3 and then insert it again. So it's very expensive and we realized it was not working. So we've given up some of these unless there's a request. And it needs special skills. And I remember now Sushi was reminding me, we had a very small basket at one time. And everyone will think that when the basket is smaller, it has to cost less. But what actually happened was it became so expensive, the finger wouldn't go in. So we stopped making it. And Sushi just now told me that when she came, we told her that, so she bought up whatever there was. So that's
What
what.
I had, I saved, and now
Yes.
I'm squirreling them away.
Here. because we can't make them again. It is not cost effective. Oh, this is that katkotan I was talking to you about. And every time you insert it, you have to split it into 3. I have water here. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. What is the next slide? And these are all the traditional baskets. The names, we've got that whole documentation done in the Kotan book itself. And then we have that, they have that design like cross stitch, they can do anything, alphabets, names, everything they can do that. So this is our old ones, these are the old designs. Then we have a chart with all the new designs we have made now also. This is called a sohi, or it's actually a shell. The Tamil word is sohi. They look like little shells, you know. You have to take a very fine part of the palm leaf and twist it into each thing. It's quite a laborious. But now, if you see our store now, you will realize how far we have come. I mean, they've really gone somewhere else, these women. These are all the traditional baskets together. This is the natural dyes. So then, we started making multicolors in our dyes by mixing our dyes also, and we're getting new colors. Then I got Jagada Rajappa to come and teach us how to do natural dyes. And she came and she's done 2 or 3 workshops with us, and she taught us how to make basic colors. But after that, the women in the village are so intelligent. The only thing is they don't have education. But with whatever is growing around us, we have now got, I think, about 30 colors, 28 colors now. Yes, we have 28 natural colors, like oranges, yellows, reds, pinks, everything we have. This is the old designs, is it? This is the old ones, yes. These are the old ones. And this is the documentation, the page, 1 page of the documentation that we have done. These are all the old baskets. And then this is the floor mat. It's only a square. But even they use that also for sitting on the floor. In those days we mostly sat on the ground and ate, or we did pujas. So this was used for that. And they're being used as ritual objects here. The bride and the groom are both standing on the thaduk. And it's also used here for, we have ancestral worship. So this is an ancestral worship, and they put everything on the thaduk, on that. So these are all old tadukas, and that one has got, it's a beaded one. I had an aunt who was an expert at making these. Nobody wants to do this anymore, because sitting on the floor you have to stretch so far to do it, and they really don't want to do this anymore. This is our project Kotan. So I think I've told you a lot about it already, and I cannot see properly from here. What is this? This is the making, this is the village. Okay, now I'll tell you about the women and the village. That's very interesting. I told you when I went there first, I only got 5 women. They just wouldn't come. They didn't believe in me at all. Then we had no place to work in. So there was one girl called Muttu who joined me first. She's still there with us, by the way. She does most of our demonstrations now. So she had a small courtyard in her house, and we started there in the village with 5 women. But then slowly, when they realized that they were doing well, the women started coming. Now we have women, at least one woman or many women from every household. So then they have all kinds of castes, and like it's an unspoken thing that nobody's talking about it, but there are those differences. So when I went into the village, if I went here, then they won't accept me there. It was like that. But finally, I never said anything. But slowly now I'm very happy to say that in every house we have a woman. There are even Muslim women there. They have also joined us. they were very suspicious of us in the beginning, but now everyone has joined and they all work together. And it's not compulsory for them to come and work. We have a center now. And so how did we get the center? There was no land available. I went and spoke to the Panchayat Union leader. He was very enthusiastic, good man, but he had no land to give us. The villagers then said that since one woman from every house is working with you, we'll give some of our land, you can use it. So we have made a lease with them for a long-term lease, and we have built a small center, and all the women go there to work. But it's not compulsory that they should work from there, because in a village I don't want to disrupt their daily life. And they're mostly from a farming background. So they can come in the morning at 9:30, take their work, go back and come back at 4 and report what condition they are in. They all live very close to each other. Now we work from many villages, not only one. I mean, everywhere there is a center now. Somehow, by God's grace, we have been able to manage it and pay the rent or do something. So what happens is that they all come in the morning, they don't want to go back. They are there till 4 o'clock. For them, it's like running away from the house, and getting away from the chores. It's like freedom. So they actually say, we don't want to go back, don't keep telling everyone we can go whenever we like. So they come in the morning and they only leave in the evening, and they like it. And they all have mobile phones now. I mean, we've come a long way, 25 years. So they get on well together also, I must say, touch wood. So far, no problems. This is some of the women working. This is our center. It's a traditional style building we have built with 4 sides and a courtyard in the middle. So that because they can't use a fan. This is one of the first baskets I experimented it with, and it went to Edinburgh. The first basket, yeah. And this is one of our Diwali collection. I told you every year for Diwali we have a collection of baskets, and I don't know where those slides are, I'll show you. Then we have plastic baskets, because everyone says, why plastic? How can you do it? It's not eco-friendly. I didn't want to. But then we realized that some women cannot make the kottan. It's not that easy. Though it looks simple, it's quite difficult. So then they still needed a living. So what should we do? Then I said, okay, we can't be that fussy. So we accepted the plastic basket, and we have units making them. They also make a livelihood out of it. So what happened in the beginning was, we were paying them on a piece basis. Every time they made one basket, we used to send the money to them. Then one day they called and said, don't do that, because money is getting frittered away, or it's being taken away forcibly by the husband or whoever. So we are not in control, so don't send it like that. Make like a thing and send it to us once in a month. So what we do now is, on the 5th of every month, we keep accounts. They also keep accounts. We have a person there called Nirmala. She runs the whole thing there, so they keep accounts. So on the 5th of every month, we send the money to them. And as soon as it comes, they buy their rations and they pay their school fees. Then they feel safe now. They are not too worried about anything else. So, and then they all have bank accounts. So during COVID, what happened was, we couldn't go, they couldn't come. So everything became digitalized. Now we have codes for our designs, we have codes for our colors, and we have sizes and names for all the products. So when we do that chart, they are able to follow. They all have phones, and our entire operation is now digitalized. We don't have to go there. They do the packing, forwarding. They are going to exhibitions all over the place, all by themselves. So they have traveled all over the world also, all by themselves. So slowly, I remember in the old days, Durga and I used to sit and write a list of names. Where is the toilet? I want water. And then teach them all that, so that they will be able to travel. Now they have become more savvy than us. They can go anywhere and come back on their own. Huh? Okay. So then we may give them bonuses thrice in a year. Whenever there is, the money is excess beyond what we have paid them, and we divide it equally. So then when the 1 year they called us and told me that we don't want a third bonus, why don't you give us a holiday or a trip somewhere? So we started that, so that, I don't know, those photographs are very beautiful, I'll show you. So we started letting them take a holiday. Only thing, they can only go for 2 nights and 3 days. They can't go for more than that. So we have to find places around us, but somehow we have managed so far, and they just love the holidays. These are all our baskets. Okay, I'll tell you something else about this. The beads and the crochet basket, somehow I was trying my best to do it and it just didn't work. I couldn't make it at all these years. Suddenly in our 25th year this year, we've been able to make both. And they have become super hits. Everybody wants to buy them. And we've got some women trained, and I'm really happy that I feel now that the Kotan is, it's a complete circle and we have not left anything out. This is a crochet basket. Go back, Durga. That is a crochet basket. You see some there. Now that's a new one. Showing. This is of course one of our Diwali collection. And then we make wine bottle covers, anything that is a packaging product. Trays, and then we make sari boxes, we make sweet boxes, baskets, and tissue boxes are also very popular. These are all our products, the wine baskets and purses. But our work has become so fine now that it is almost impossible to think it's handmade. And so many people are making it uniformly. So they are really very good. These are slippers. One lady ordered it from us. What is her name, Durga? Huh? Soul Sisters. So she said, I'll make these slippers. Can you make only that patch? So we said, why not? We have tried everything. Let's try this also. And we tried to have it in the shop, but she couldn't supply us enough slippers. One set we got. Now I hope we can continue it. I don't know. Okay, this is called Indradhanush. So for every Diwali we have one or two of these where we have a name, we have a color chart, and then the baskets. And you can choose which one you want to order. I keep telling everyone we are ready, always ready in July. So please come and give your order, because then we get more business. But nobody orders. They only come on 2 days before Diwali and they'll say, I want 50, I want 25, I want 30. So then we learned that there's no point expecting so much discipline. So we now make numbers and wait, and anyhow it sells out. So COVID was another testing. This is another one. This is called dragon fruit. So like that we do different schemes. This is a black and white exhibition which was a super hit, and we have not stopped making them. From that time till now, it's one of the most popular collections we have made. And we made it in plastic, and then we made the saris, Aatangudi tiles, everything in black and white, and it was a very, very good experience. We did very well. This was an order from Japan, and their designs are so subtle, but we are not allowed to sell them. So we changed the color, but their work is so fine, and they're so simple. I mean, their design is simply stunning. These are our women in front of our center. There they all are. This is one of the first women who joined me, Nacha. Who's on the other side? So this is where, this is a travel or a group photo? One of the travel photos, okay. I can't see properly from here. Show the other ones. See, they feel so, what can I say? I think they feel really so liberated that they come here, they buy salwar kameez and wear them for their trips. They take photographs and do everything and then they go back, normally back home again. But we don't allow the husbands and children to come on the trips because, you know, then even that little bit of freedom is also lost. So that is why. These are all our women. Where is this? Outside here. Okay, they thought nice photograph. Okay. This is here in Marina Beach. I think the first time, oh, is it Mahabalipuram? I don't know. Pondicherry, okay. First time when they came here, there was a woman who told me she had never seen the sea before because they live inside, you know. And then took them to that, what is that mall? Express Avenue. And she said, you know, Achi, and the padil and ninna, and the tana vela kundu. So she was so surprised because they never seen these things. They were so happy. Every year, even now this year, we haven't done our trip. We have been too busy with this 25th year and Crafts Council 60th year. So we have going crazy. But every time they keep asking me, when are we going on our trip? We are not doing anything about it. So we have to plan one soon for them. But beyond Karnataka, Andhra, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, where can you go at such short time and come back? I don't know. We have to think of something. This is Mahabalipuram. Then this is the UNESCO Seal of Excellence Awards. We entered 8 times and we won the award 7 times, I think. It has a lot of restrictions. It has to be only from one material. It can only be in natural dyes. There can be nothing, you know, there are lots of rules that you have to follow. And this is, of course, our GI. Yesterday or day before yesterday, the paper was full of it. So today the reporter asked me, what do you think of GI? So I said, I don't know what to say except that it has not helped us in any way. But because it is there and we don't know, one day we may need it, I got it. But how do you control? Like we call ourselves Kottan. Then there was another organization who just made the last letter Z, Kottans. And she says, it's not your name, our name is different. She's making the same product, but she says, I have made something different. Now, I cannot go and fight with everyone. These Durga and Sheila were getting worked up. But I said, we cannot fight with the whole world. So if someone's copying us, then let us take it as a compliment and change and let us do something else now, but that's all. We can't fight. So that GI, I don't know, what is your opinion? Do you think GI is a good or a bad thing? I mean, is it of any use to anybody? No. I don't know.
It's a matter of pride, Avladhan. It's a matter of pride.
Yeah.
Right, but unlike the turmeric latte which went to US and got patented with that, when you have a GI, no one can take what's yours.
No, but she's
No, you can't say that, ma. You know, for example, that Jamdani sari, for example, we claim that we have a GI, it is Indian. Now the Bangladesh Jamdani is far superior to us. And it's after all, it was one country which split into 3. Now they are saying actually Jamdani is ours, who are you to get a GI? And while we were just discussing it, even Pakistan says, even we have Jamdani, so how can you take? So it is very complicated, I don't know how to use it, that is what.
Sometimes you can take individual manufacturers, no one else.
Nobody will want to do it. That is the thing, it's so difficult. No, these girls keep telling me everyone's copying. I'll say they'll copy the plastic baskets. But nobody will want to copy us with the cotton because nobody will want to do it. It's such a tedious and very difficult job. So what else do we have, Durga? This is about our shop. So when I started marketing the baskets, we needed an outlet. So I didn't tell you something interesting about our foundation. How did I start this? The 8 artisans from the US gave a 2 lakh donation to us. It's not actually a donation. It was given to Debbie, but she wasn't using it, Dakshin Chitra. So she said, you can use it if you want, I'm not using. But why I took it was that we had to return that money in 2 years. That was the condition, and I really liked that because If you don't have to return something, there is really no incentive to working well. So we took that and we returned the money in 2 years. But after that, till now, we are self-sufficient. We are financing ourselves. We don't take money from anybody, except why I came to that subject is that this building belongs to my family. Otherwise, I don't take money even from my family. This is a subsidized rent. That is the only advantage I have taken of even my family. I think if we cannot stand on our own feet, we are anyhow going to collapse. So let us try to manage on our own, otherwise give up. That is it. So this is the original Manjal shop that I had it in the office, in my own office. Then from that we came to this building. This is our shop actually, even now. Then we had this exhibition for the 25th year of all our natural dye baskets at Amethyst. And I think we are very quiet. Actually, we have never done any publicity. I never used to give interviews, nothing. We just worked. Only because it's the 25th year, we did that one big exhibition. And after that, I mean, everyone wants to write about it or talk about it, and it's becoming like it's quite a lot of talking now. But then that exhibition was very beautiful, and it sold out also. We sold out. This is our store. This is our 25th year, as I told you. So suddenly one day we realized we are 25 years old and we should do something about it. So we are been doing a series of things now. Now it's becoming too much. I think we should stop. But the only thing is we want to go back to the village and do a celebration with our women. We did it once in the 10th year.
5-day holiday instead of
Yes,
2 days. Then
yes.
you take them little further.
Their families won't allow. We are ready to take them. They can't leave the children. They have cattle. They have old people. That is the restriction that they have. But in their village, last time when we invited all their families also and let the women speak. So let everyone hear from them. But I must say that they become very confident. They are, I think, the men, usually in a village, women get no respect. And now they are very respected. And all the men are scared of them, I'll see. So because they have got together and they have become one, united strength. So we have helped some of the women in trouble also. So they know we will stand by them. So that way it has really helped them. And I find that, like when there is trouble, when someone has a death or a funeral, when you are rich, I think you think twice about giving anything. But when they don't have anything, they just give everything, and they really are very good to each other. It's like a united thing. So that is a very nice thing to see. This is, what is this? Amethyst show, okay. This is our basket from the baskets in Amethyst. It was a very, very successful show. It's one of, we have never done anything like this, but we usually do our exhibitions here. But I said, let's go to Amethyst because we'll reach another set of people. So that is why we did it. But it was a very successful exhibition. We do our marketing by going to exhibitions in the beginning, to many exhibitions all over India and abroad also. But now we find that we don't need to do so many exhibitions. We are quite well known. People are coming to us. But we still are holding on to one or two. But from what Nirmala told me, it looks like they'll give that also up. Yes. Okay, this is our three main things. It's just the baskets, the Atumli tells, and the saris. So is that the end of the thing, Durga? So I think that is all. I just don't say too much. So I have said what I want. But if you have to ask me anything, I'm ready to answer.
She deserves much more than that. What an evening this has been. Thank you so much, Visa. I can see. Not often do we have an evening where what is spoken about is tangible, happening, real, and very, very effective. I mean, usually we get a lot of theory, we get a lot of history, we get a lot of maybes, but this is literally something that hits right at the root of society, where people benefit, the arts are revived, it should be in the plural, and so much else is happening. Thank you so much, Visay. It's been a fantastic evening. She's done this a couple of times and I missed the earlier versions, and I think I'm really blessed to be here today.
I can never remember what I said last time. I cannot follow people.
No, don't say things like that. That means now I'm going to feel I missed something. No, you say the same thing.
Whatever I think at the But because I know it all by heart, I don't have to read it.
Yeah, when you're so involved in it, it's hard. So talking about those little kotans, I think I bought them either to give our PDCs or I think for my daughter's wedding, and they have the tags on them. They have the name tags, some of them. Yeah, I still have those and I'm squirreling them away. Any questions, anyone before? Yeah, please.
Just to ask you, what is the shelf
I'll
life?
sit down if you don't.
Please, what's the shelf life of these kotans? When you make it, how many years do they keep?
See, I told you I have a collection of old baskets also. It depends on how you keep them. If you expose them to light or to water, they will decay. But if you keep it inside, I don't see why they gather dust. You have to wipe them with a wet cloth and dry them in the shade. So at a few years is very easily they will be there.
It's very curious about the shape. It's a very typical square shape. So when you were talking about how it is made, otherwise generally baskets would be rounded.
Yes.
This must be quite an art.
It is very difficult. You cannot have a stomach first of all if you want to do that, because you have to put your knee up like this, So that is a problem. That is one thing. But the other reason why it is like that size and that shape is the palm leaf doesn't allow you much liberty. The length of the palm leaf is only so much. We can add more palm leaf, add on to it and make, but you can't carry it with anything. So then you can make it for decoration maybe. But I frankly believe that we make anything only for decoration. There is no market. There has to be a utility value to it. Actually, I forgot to tell you what is a Janani. She has used it as, the shutters, wardrobe shutters. We have made her wardrobe shutters for her. And she has put a frame onto it and closed her cupboards with those. And they look quite beautiful.
Why is it that there are so many tourists who come to Chettinad? We were there 8 years ago. People took us to the Athangudi section and showed us that. We saw the tile making, but we never saw this. Nobody told us.
No, so I'll tell you, I'll explain. Maybe we are the problem. Like even today, the Crafts Council meeting yesterday, they were talking about tourism and craft. Now these are two different things. When you're working seriously, you can't have people coming in the middle and asking you questions. The quality gets muddled and the concentration goes. So we actually don't allow visitors. That is the reason. And okay, then I didn't know, I wanted to say something else, but now in Athangudi, yes, Athangudi, there are lots of tile factories, but we have got these people. Now there are a number of them, so I tell them, 2 of you do the demonstration, rest of you continue to work. But with the basket, each of them has to make a living, So if she wastes her time, then she's losing money. We can't do that. That is why.
In fact, we stayed in the Bangla.
Yes.
They had a little shop in front.
Yes.
So it was from there that I picked up a couple of your,
Yes.
like mats, table mats.
Yes,
and things
yes,
like that.
yes, yes. They order regularly from us. But the only problem is everyone complains you don't allow visitors. But you can't get confused between tourism and craft. They are two different things. Otherwise, you must have one place, like all Thailand and all of them have. There's one woman sitting and going on making one basket. That we can try to do maybe.
This is one. Sorry. Okay.
Is this
See, the palm leaf grows in our area, Sivagangi. So there you would have seen some narputtis also inside. They are made from the bark of the palm tree, you know. So there are all kinds of baskets made out of that. And the utility purposes are different. Some are for farming and some for carrying rice or, you know, drying things out and all that. Those round trays are for drying things out in the sun. This particular basket is so specific to the community. Now I wanted to tell you why am I working in Chettinad, because actually I belong to Crafts Council. I have worked all over India. I have worked for Dakshina Chitra, and I would have, if I had given a choice, I would have preferred to have worked anywhere else. But I realized that there was nobody to do it in Chettinad. In other places there were a lot of people to do it. So I am doing it because I feel I owe it and let me just do it properly. Otherwise I'll be quite happy to work anywhere. may have been more interesting for me also.
There was one particular item that you showed almost towards the end, you know, just was undyed, which was more like a chumbu, which was kind of bent.
Yes, yes.
How, that must have been difficult to get that shape.
That we don't make it at all. We made it only for the UNESCO Seal of Excellence, one piece. UNESCO Seal of Excellence, because that is complicated and we can't do large numbers. And we make money only if we make large numbers. So because all the women must get work. And if they don't get a livelihood out of this, they are not going to be interested in working. So that means large orders, weddings are our best bet. We don't export also. We had some problems because the packing, we went all the way to Australia, Santa Fe. And there was a piece of wood. They said we don't allow wood inside the country. It was in the packing, one small piece of wood. So we spent 1 lakh sending it up and down without selling. So then I decided that India is the biggest market. We have the most spending power. Why are we going anywhere? We stick to India, that's all. That's all what we do. Yeah, they do. They come and buy from us and they sell. But that is their problem. We don't have to get into that. That is right. And then we have that, what is that, foreign FCRA. All these problems, I don't think we need to get into all that. Only Japan, she says, it's a regular standing order every year. That lady sends us a design, she makes her own arrangements. But she takes it from us every year. Yes.
What struck me as Visalakshmi was speaking was there are two communities, very small, very productive. The Parsis and the Chettiars. I don't know if you feel the same way, but it's such a small community. But if you compare it to the effect they have had on the society around them, it's totally disproportionate.
I know, but just like the Parsis, we are also diminishing in numbers. We had, at one time I remember people telling us we are about 1 lakh people, but when I went to Chettinad recently, they said the numbers have come down drastically, like it could be even 50,000-60,000 now, something like that.
That work is seen in Malaysia and Singapore, which is where a lot of origins of their earlier generations are there. But wherever they have been effective. They have been, they didn't just also run. They did things that were different, which stood out, and for that I think there is a lot of respect for the community, and for people like Visalakshmi, of course, there's that little extra also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This whole family is very illustrious. I mean, I can hardly tell this audience, all of you know them. Every one of them did something, does something which is slightly wacky, slightly out of the superb. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Sushi. Sushi is an old friend of mine, so you can take that with a pinch of salt. Thank you. Thank you.
She is known to call us spade a spade, so
Yes.
unlikely I'd say something. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I hope you found it interesting, that was a different.